Jack Morgan tightened his grip on the controls as his ship plummeted through the alien atmosphere. Alarms blared and the ship shook violently. Despite his best efforts, the vessel crash-landed with a deafening thud. Groaning, Jack unbuckled himself and assessed the damage. His supplies were scattered and the ship was beyond repair. He grabbed his toolkit and a few essential supplies, then ventured outside. The landscape was a mix of dense, purple-hued forests and jagged mountains. The air was breathable, but the environment was unlike anything he'd ever seen. As he surveyed the surroundings, Jack heard a noise. Cautiously, he approached and found another ship, smaller and more streamlined, but equally wrecked. A figure emerged from the wreckage, a tall, slender alien with iridescent blue skin and large, expressive eyes. The alien noticed Jack and tensed. She spoke in a language he didn't understand, her tone wary. Jack raised his hands in a peaceful gesture. "Hey, I'm not here to hurt you. My name's Jack. My ship crashed too." The alien studied him for a moment, then spoke in halting English. "I am Zara of the Xylar. My ship. Broken." Jack nodded, feeling a mix of relief and curiosity. "Looks like we're both in the same boat. Or, well, ship. Maybe we can help each other out." Zara hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Yes, we must work together." They began by salvaging what they could from their ships. Jack found some food rations and a few tools, while Zara retrieved some energy cells and a strange device he couldn't identify. They set up a makeshift camp between their wrecked ships. As night fell, Jack and Zara sat by a small fire. They shared their stories, with Zara explaining her mission to explore new worlds, and Jack recounting his supply delivery gone awry. Despite the language barrier, they managed to communicate. "Your technology is interesting," Zara said, examining one of Jack's tools. "Different from ours." Jack chuckled. "Yeah, we humans like to keep things simple. Your stuff looks pretty advanced." She smiled, a gesture that seemed universal. "We learn from each other, survive together." Jack nodded. "Yeah, we'll get through this. We'll figure out a way to signal for help or find a way off this planet together." As they settled in for the night, Jack felt a sense of cautious optimism. Stranded on an alien planet with an alien companion was not what he had planned, but maybe, just maybe, they could turn this dire situation into something more hopeful. Morning light filtered through the dense foliage as Jack and Zara began their search for resources. They moved cautiously, eyes scanning for anything useful. The alien planet was teeming with life, some of which was more curious about the newcomers than Jack was comfortable with. Jack pointed to a cluster of strange, crystalline plants. "Those look like they could be useful. Maybe they have some kind of mineral we can use." Zara examined them, her fingers lightly brushing the crystals. "Yes, these might contain energy we need. Good eye, Jack." They spent hours gathering materials, carefully navigating the unfamiliar terrain. As they worked, they encountered various creatures, some harmless, others less so. A pack of small, insect-like animals skittered past, causing Zara to jump back. "Easy," Jack said, suppressing a laugh. "They seem more afraid of us than we are of them." Zara gave a small, embarrassed smile. "I've never seen such creatures before. They are startling." As the day wore on, they stumbled upon a stream of clear, flowing water. Jack knelt to take a sip, relief washing over him. "Finally, something's going right. We can set up camp here." Zara nodded, but her eyes remained vigilant. "We must be cautious. Other predators may come for the water as well." They set up their camp by the stream, using the resources they'd gathered to create a more permanent shelter. Jack showed Zara how to use some of his tools, while she demonstrated the functions of her alien device, which turned out to be a multi-tool far more advanced than anything Jack had ever seen. "Your technology is amazing," Jack said, genuinely impressed. "How does this even work?" Zara smiled, pleased with his admiration. "It harnesses energy from the environment, converting it to what is needed. Our technology adapts." Their conversations grew more comfortable, and Jack found himself fascinated by Zara's stories of Xylar culture and their expansive space explorations. In turn, he shared tales of Earth and humanity's achievements and struggles. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Jack looked over at Zara, who was meticulously repairing a piece of her equipment. "You know, I think we're actually starting to make progress. We might just get out of here." Zara looked up, her eyes reflecting the firelight. Yes, I believe we will. Together we are stronger. Their bond deepened as they continued to work side by side, overcoming obstacles and learning from each other. Jack admired Zara's determination and intelligence, while she appreciated his resourcefulness and optimism. One night, while they were resting, Zara spoke softly. Jack, I am grateful for your companionship. I did not expect to find such understanding with a human. Jack smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. The feeling's mutual, Zara. I didn't expect to find a friend out here, let alone someone like you. As they drifted off to sleep, the sense of camaraderie and growing trust between them gave Jack a renewed sense of hope. They were no longer just two stranded beings. They were a team, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Jack and Zara trekked through the dense forest, following the faint signal from Zara's multi-tool. The device had detected an old alien outpost several kilometers away, and they hoped it would have a communications array they could repair. How much further? Jack asked, glancing at Zara. Not far, Zara replied. The signal is growing stronger. After another hour of hiking, they finally reached a clearing. In the center stood a crumbling structure overgrown with alien flora. Despite its state of disrepair, the outpost retained a certain grandeur, its architecture unlike anything Jack had seen before. This place is incredible, Jack said, awestruck. Zara nodded, eyes wide with wonder. It is ancient. We must be careful. They cautiously approached the outpost, entering through a half-collapsed archway. Inside, they found remnants of advanced technology, most of it damaged or decayed. Jack spotted a large console that looked promising. Let's start here, he suggested. They worked together, clearing debris and examining the machinery. Zara's multi-tool proved invaluable, helping them identify and salvage usable components. As they pieced together the communications array, they faced numerous setbacks, wiring issues, power failures, and parts that simply didn't fit. Jack wiped sweat from his brow, frustration evident on his face. This is taking forever. What if no one even picks up our signal? Zara placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We must not give up. We have come too far. Her calm determination gave Jack the boost he needed to keep going. They spent the next few days working tirelessly, taking turns to rest and keep watch for any potential threats. Their bond grew stronger with each challenge they overcame, their trust in each other solidified. One evening, as they neared completion, the array powered on, emitting a faint hum. Jack and Zara exchanged hopeful glances. We did it, Jack said, a grin spreading across his face. Zara activated the console, her fingers flying over the controls. Now, we send the signal. They crafted a distress message in both English and Zelar, detailing their situation and coordinates. With a deep breath, Zara pressed the button to transmit. A moment of silence followed, the weight of their hopes hanging in the air. It's done, Zara said, her voice tinged with both relief and uncertainty. Now we wait. Days passed with no response. Jack and Zara fell into a routine of maintaining the outpost and scavenging for food and water. Despite the lack of immediate results, their spirits remained high, bolstered by their friendship and mutual support. One night, as they sat by their makeshift fire, Jack looked up at the star-filled sky. Do you think anyone heard us? Zara sat beside him, her gaze following his. I believe so. The universe is vast, but our signal will reach someone. We must be patient. Jack nodded, taking comfort in her words. I just hope it happens soon. Just as their hopes began to wane, a faint signal crackled through the array. Zara rushed to the console, adjusting the frequency. A garbled voice emerged, gradually becoming clearer. Stranded, receiving, coordinates, help is on the way. Jack and Zara stared at each other in stunned silence, then erupted into joyous laughter. They had done it. They had reached someone. Relief washed over them, their months of hardship finally bearing fruit. As they waited for their rescuers to arrive, Jack turned to Zara, his expression earnest. No matter what happens next, I'm glad we went through this together. Zara smiled, her eyes shining. So am I, Jack. We are stronger for it. Jack and Zara watched the sky anxiously, their hearts pounding as the rescue ship descended. It was a sleek, modern vessel, bearing the combined insignia of both human and Xylar fleets. As it landed, a mixed crew of humans and Xylar emerged, their expressions a mix of curiosity and relief. A human officer approached, extending a hand. "I'm Captain Reynolds. We received your distress signal and came as quickly as we could." Jack shook his hand, grinning. "Jack Morgan, this is Zara. We're glad to see you." Zara nodded, her voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you for coming." The crew quickly assessed the situation, offering food, medical supplies, and a promise to get them off the planet as soon as possible. As they worked, Jack and Zara found themselves the center of attention, their story of cooperation and survival captivating everyone. A Xylar engineer examined Zara's multi-tool, nodding in approval. "Your ingenuity is impressive. You've managed to do what many would have considered impossible." Zara smiled, glancing at Jack. "We had to work together to survive. Jack's skills were invaluable." Jack felt a surge of pride. "Couldn't have done it without you, Zara." As the crew prepared the rescue ship for departure, Jack and Zara took a moment to say goodbye to the makeshift camp that had been their home. It was a bittersweet moment, filled with memories of their shared struggles and triumphs. Before boarding the ship, Jack turned to Zara. "It's hard to believe we're finally leaving." Zara nodded, her eyes reflecting the same mix of emotions. "Yes, but we have accomplished much together. We will always have this experience." Once on board, the ship ascended smoothly, leaving the alien planet behind. Jack and Zara were given quarters, and they took the opportunity to rest, the weight of their ordeal finally lifting. During the journey, Captain Reynolds approached them. "Your story is remarkable. The cooperation between you two is an example for both our species. We'd like to document it if you're willing." Jack glanced at Zara, who nodded. "We're willing," he said. "Anything to help strengthen the bond between our peoples." As they neared their destination, Jack and Zara faced the reality that their paths might soon diverge. The thought was a painful one, but they both knew their bond would endure. One evening, Jack found Zara gazing out a viewport, her expression pensive. He joined her, standing silently for a moment before speaking. "We'll see each other again, won't we?" Zara turned to him, her eyes soft with affection. "Yes, Jack. Our friendship is strong. We will meet again." The ship docked at a large space station, bustling with activity. As Jack and Zara disembarked, they were greeted by representatives from both the human and Xylar communities, eager to hear their story and learn from their experience. Amidst the flurry of activity, Jack and Zara found a quiet moment to say their goodbyes. Jack took her hand, squeezing it gently. "Take care of yourself, Zara." Zara smiled, her eyes shimmering. "You too, Jack, until we meet again." With a final, lingering look, they parted ways, each stepping into their respective worlds. Though separated by distance, they both knew their bond would remain unbroken, a testament to what could be achieved when two very different beings worked together. As Jack looked back one last time, he felt a surge of hope. The universe was vast, but it was also filled with possibilities. And somewhere out there, his friend Zara would be looking up at the same stars, knowing